She never imagined her life would change on a normal afternoon. The sun was still up, cars were moving, people were walking freely on the road. Everything looked normal, too normal for what was about to happen. She sat in the passenger seat of their car, adjusting her hair with her phone camera. Her husband was driving quietly, his eyes fixed on the road. The soft music playing in the background made the moment feel calm, almost peaceful. Then suddenly, another car stopped in front of them. Before either of them could understand what was happening, their doors were pulled open. Strong hands grabbed her arm, someone shouted, another voice cursed. Her phone fell to the ground. Fear hit her like cold water. This was not part of the life she planned. Before the island, her life was not bad. They lived on the mainland in a quiet neighborhood. Their house was not fancy, but it was solid. It was the kind of house that felt safe, the kind of house where you slept well at night. The compound was always calm. Neighbors greeted each other. Children played outside in the evenings. Sometimes women sat outside and talked while peeling fruits. Her husband owned the house. That alone made her feel secure. He worked hard. Every morning he woke up early, dressed neatly, and left for work. In the evening, he came back tired but satisfied. He was the type of man who believed in steady progress. They were not rich, but they were comfortable. Food was never a problem. Bills were paid. They did not owe anyone. For a long time, that was enough, until it wasn't. It started slowly. She began spending more time on her phone. Long hours, endless scrolling, videos, pictures, short clips of people living soft lives. Beautiful apartments, white curtains, glass tables, balconies with city views, island life. She saw women her age, younger even, living in places she only heard about before. They went to the gym in the morning, had brunch in the afternoon, and attended small gatherings at night. Everything looked easy. Everything looked clean. Everything looked better than her life. At first, she just watched. Then she started comparing. The mainland began to feel noisy. The roads felt rough. The houses felt old. One evening, while washing plates, she said it. "You know we can be doing better than this." Her husband looked up from where he sat. "Better how?" She dried her hands and faced him. "We should move to the island." He laughed. "Which island?" "Lekki, Ikoyi, anywhere there." He shook his head, still smiling. "That place is not for us." She did not smile back. That night, they argued. She said staying on the mainland was the reason nothing big was happening for them. She said rich people lived on the island for a reason. She said connections followed location. Her husband tried to explain. "Rent is too high. Life there is pressure. We are okay here." She crossed her arms. Okay is not enough. He looked at her carefully. When did okay become a problem? She did not answer. From that day, she did not let the idea rest. Every time something went wrong, she blamed their location. When a business opportunity failed, she said it was because they were not visible enough. When people did not take them seriously, she said it was because of the address. If we lived on the island, this would not happen. She talked about growth. She talked about exposure. She talked about risk. Her husband listened. Sometimes he argued back. Sometimes he stayed quiet. But she did not stop. They attended a wedding one weekend. The venue was on the island. She noticed everything. The cars people drove, the way they spoke, the respect they received. When someone asked where they lived, she hesitated before answering. "Mainland," she said. The person nodded politely, but she noticed the slight change in tone. That moment stayed with her. On their way home, she was quiet. Then she said, "Did you notice how people were treated there?" Her husband sighed. This again? Yes, she said firmly. This again. Weeks passed. Arguments turned to long silence. Silence turned to tension. One evening, her husband came home and did not eat. He sat on the couch, staring into space. She sat beside him. What's wrong? He rubbed his face. I went to see an agent today. Her heart jumped. Agent for what? For selling the house. She froze. For a moment, she did not speak. Then she held his hand. This is good, she said softly. This is how big people think. He looked at her. You know what this means, right? She nodded. We'll be fine. The house was sold faster than she expected. Buyers came, papers were signed, money changed hands. She felt excited. Her husband looked empty. Then he sold other properties, ones he had worked years to build, ones meant for safety. Each sale felt like a step forward to her. Each sale felt like a piece of his life disappearing. They packed their things. As they locked the door one last time, she smiled. This was the beginning. Their new apartment was smaller, but it looked fine. Clean walls, shiny floor, security gate. She loved it immediately. She walked around like someone who had finally arrived. This is where we belong, she said. Her husband nodded, but his eyes looked tired. In the estate, she learned quickly. Looks mattered, confidence mattered, image mattered. So she adjusted. She bought new clothes. She dressed well even when money was tight. They went to cafes, ordered one drink, sat for hours. She took pictures, posted them online. People commented, soft life, enjoyment, island babe. She smiled. They joined a gym. She took pictures there too. They attended small gatherings. She laughed loudly, spoke confidently. When people asked questions, she answered carefully. Business, consulting, private work. People nodded. Respect followed. Her husband began to change. He slept less, talked less, smiled less. But she did not notice. She was too busy living the life she wanted. One night, her husband spoke. We need to reduce spending. She frowned. Why? We're running out. She waved her hand. Relax, something will come. He looked at her. And if nothing comes? She stood up. Then we keep pushing. That night, he slept facing the wall. In the estate, people watched. They saw how she dressed, how people respected them, how they moved. Someone made assumptions. Someone decided. They were coming back from a small outing. She was checking her phone. Then everything stopped. The road, the music, the peace. The doors opened. Hands grabbed. Fear took over. And just like that, the life she worked so hard to show the world began to fall apart. The first thing she noticed was the silence. Not the peaceful kind, the heavy kind. Her eyes were covered. Her hands were tied. The ground beneath her felt cold and rough. She tried to move, but her body ached badly. Her head hurt badly. Somewhere close, she heard her husband breathe, fast, broken. She called his name softly. He answered, but his voice did not sound like him anymore. They were alive, but they were no longer in control. Time passed, slowly, too slowly. They did not know where they were. The room smelled old and damp. The air felt thick. Every sound felt louder than normal. Footsteps came and went. Voices whispered. Doors opened and closed. Fear sat with them. She tried to be strong. She told herself this was a mistake, that it would soon be over, that someone would realize who they were and let them go. In her mind, she still saw herself as someone important, someone who belonged on the island. When the men finally spoke to them, their voices were calm, too calm. One of them removed her blindfold. The light hurt her eyes. She blinked and looked around. The room was small,
dirty, nothing like the places she had been posting online. The man looked at her closely. "Call your people," he said. "Tell them to send money." Her heart jumped. She laughed nervously. "There must be a mistake. We will talk." He did not smile. Her husband was shaking. "Do what he says," the man added. That was when fear changed. It became real. They gave her husband a phone. "Call," they said. He held it with shaking hands. He called one number. No answer. Another. Busy. Another. The call ended quickly. She watched his face. Color drained from it. He tried again and again. Each call failed. The room became quiet. Too quiet. The man looked at them again. "Where's the money?"
Her husband broke. He cried. Not small tears, deep tears. "We don't have money," he said. The men laughed. She spoke quickly. "We're business people," she said. "We just need time." The man stepped closer. "You are lying." Her chest tightened. That was when the truth pushed itself out. She fell to the floor. She cried loudly. "We are not rich," she said. "We only pretended." Everyone went silent. Her husband looked at her. She continued. "We sold our house. We sold everything. We came to the island to look rich. We thought something good would happen." Her husband added his voice. "We have nothing left," he said. "Nothing." The men did not believe them. They checked phones, checked bank apps, checked messages. They made calls. They searched. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. Nothing came up. No money. No savings. No backup. The truth was clear. The room felt smaller. The men were angry. Not because they were poor, but because they wasted their time. "You fooled yourselves," one of them said. They sat there quietly. No shouting, no crying now. Just shame. Before morning, they were pushed into a car. No blindfold this time. They were dropped near a quiet road. The car drove away. They stood there in silence. No hugs, no words. Only exhaustion. They walked slowly. Their clothes were dirty. Their bodies weak. As the sun came up, the island looked different. Cold, hard, unfriendly. The place that once made her feel important now felt empty. When they reached their apartment, the gate was locked. She knocked. No answer. They knocked again. Still nothing. A neighbor came out. "You people didn't renew rent. Landlord locked the place yesterday." Her legs felt weak. She sat down. Her husband said nothing. They called people. Friends from the island did not answer. People from the mainland asked questions. No one offered help. They had nowhere to sleep, nowhere to return to. Everything they sold came back to their minds. They sat outside with their bags. The sun was hot. Her husband finally spoke. "I warned you," he said quietly. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. "I lost everything," he continued. "Not because I was careless, but because I wanted to make you happy." Tears filled her eyes. "I just wanted us to be better," she said. He nodded. "I know. But you didn't listen." He stood up. "I can't do this again. I can't start over with lies." She begged him. He shook his head. "This marriage is over." He carried his bag. He did not shout. He did not insult her. He just walked away. She watched him go, slowly, until he disappeared.
She sat there. People passed. Cars moved. Nobody knew her story. Nobody cared. For the first time in a long time, she stopped pretending. The island did not destroy them. The lies did. Wanting a better life is not wrong, but building that life on lies can leave you with